In this class I am going to explain various types of project applications in Visual Basics, various project applications in VB, Visual Basic. Okay, when we start Visual Basic application, when we click on start button, Microsoft programs, Microsoft Visual Studio and then Visual Basic 6.0, it means when we start Visual Basic application, a project application window is displayed. We see the first window, that is called project application window. So in that, by default, standard exe is always selected. Simply by clicking on OK button, we see the IDE, integrated development environment. We learned what is IDE and the components of IDE in the last class. Okay, so when we start the Visual Basic application, we see a project applications window. In that, standard exe is by default selected. Simply click on OK button, we see the IDE and components of IDE, integrated development environment. Okay, so this is the project applications or new project window. Okay, this is the project applications window. In that, standard exe is always selected. So apart from the standard exe, there are so many other project applications are available in VB, but in this class we learn only the 4 kinds of project applications, that is standard exe, ActiveX exe, ActiveX DLL and ActiveX control. Today I am going to explain these 4 kinds of project applications: standard exe, ActiveX exe, ActiveX DLL and ActiveX control. Okay, so the various types of project applications are mainly the 4 kinds of project applications we see, that is standard exe, ActiveX exe, ActiveX DLL and ActiveX control. Right, ActiveX control, standard exe, ActiveX exe, ActiveX DLL and ActiveX control. Right, so the first one is standard exe project application. Standard exe project application, it is a typical application for learning edition. It is a typical application for learning edition. It means that generally we create the applications in VB by using this project application only. By default, the standard exe project is always selected. Simply by clicking on OK button, we see the IDE and components of IDE. With the help of this IDE and components of IDE, that is mainly the form window, we develop the user interface screens. Okay, we use only the standard exe types of project application to develop the applications in Visual Basic. Okay, that is standard exe. And the next one is ActiveX exe project application. It is a typical application for professional edition. It provides reusability of code. Once the code is developed in as ActiveX exe, that can be called by multiple clients. So this kind of applications generally used to develop the reusability of code types of applications. When we use the code which is developed at once and we need to use in multiple applications, we need to develop the ActiveX exe project application. So it has a feature called reusability of code. Once the code is developed as ActiveX exe, that can be called by multiple clients. Okay, that can be called by multiple clients. The next one, ActiveX DLL project application. So DLL stands for dynamic linked libraries. These are used to create library functions. In any programming language, we see library functions. Generally, we use the library function directly in our program to develop the application. So those library functions are developed with the help of this ActiveX DLL project application. This ActiveX DLL project application. Once the code is developed under this ActiveX DLL project application, that can be used as a library function in any of the program developed in Visual Basic. Okay. And the next and the last one is ActiveX control. This is also called as OLE control. We already know OLE is the object linking and embedding. This project application helps us to develop a reusable software component. This project application helps us to develop a reusable software component. This component can be used in many applications. With the help of this ActiveX control, a user can develop a reusable software component. A reusable software component. This component can be developed in different types of networks. Okay, so the mainly four types of project applications the user or a programmer developed in VB. The first one is the standard exe application. The standard exe is the learning edition. In the standard exe type of application, we see a form window. In the form window we develop the user interface screens. And the next one is the ActiveX exe project. ActiveX exe is a professional edition. This is for the reusability of code. Once the code is developed, that can be called or used by multiple clients. And the next one is the ActiveX DLL project application. The ActiveX DLL project applications are used to create a library functions. Okay, the last one is the ActiveX control. This ActiveX control is a OLE control. This is called as a software component. Once the component is developed, this can be supported by different types of networks. But in our syllabus or in our course, we learned or we developed the applications using only this standard exe type of project application. So when we start the Visual Basic application, initially we see a new project application window. In that, standard exe is by default selected. Standard exe is selected. Simply we click on OK. Button. The IDE integrated development environment is displayed. Okay, so after seeing this IDE and components of IDE, we develop the application. IDE is the interface and environment to develop the applications in Visual Basic. Okay, so here when we start the application, we see the new project application window. In that, standard exe, ActiveX exe, ActiveX DLL and ActiveX control, these are the main project applications. But here we develop the applications only by using the standard exe type of project applications. Okay, so thank you.